Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Top's Tactical and other cool stuff. If you don't know me, I'm Top. Today, I want to touch on movement. I want to touch on what they call getting off the X. Okay, the X being the spot that you're standing in when some type of a deadly force encounter begins. Now, we've all been taught for years: square up and engage your targets. We do these multiple target drills all the time, and 9 times out of 10 we put up 3 targets. Matter of fact, I've got 3 targets down there right now, and I'm standing at 7 yards from my targets. And we sit there and timer goes off, target's face if we're on the range, for example, with the police department or whatever, and we draw and fire a prescribed number of rounds. What we commonly do when engaging multiple targets, 90% of the people out there teach you to come out of the holster, put 2 rounds on the first target, 2 rounds on the second target, 2 rounds on the third target, back in the holster, we high five, we thump our chests, we're all proud of ourselves because the timer said, hey, I got 6 rounds on target, 3 different targets in 3.9 seconds, 4.2 seconds, or whatever. And I mean, that's cool and it's fun, and especially for shooting steel, it's really nice to hear a lot of stuff ring. But the bottom line of the deal is you're dead. Okay? You were dead before you ever got to the third target. You were dead most of the time before you got to the second target. So, let's figure this out. Let's say that instead of 2 rounds, 2 rounds, 2 rounds, and work our way from right to left, left to right, whatever blows our skirt up, we do it Top's way, which is get 1 round into everybody as quick as we can, and then come back through and clean up the leftovers. That's a pretty good idea, right? Because I'll get led into that third target in like 2.5 seconds probably. And that's great. High five, thump my chest, woo, shake the money maker, but I'm still dead. Okay? On this board behind me, I'm going to show you why I'm still dead. As long as I can get my zoom to work on my camera here. Come on. Come on. Zoom. There we go. Alright. I think you guys can read that. See if we can zoom in. That's a little too far. Let's stay right here, and I'm actually going to slide this over some, hopefully. Whoops. Let's bring it the right way. Alright. Now, as long as it stays up there, we're good. Alright, I'm kind of out of the shot, but I want you guys to take a look at some things here. I was down here the other day, and I was drawing from concealment, and I wanted to time myself. Hey, how much time does it take me to get out? Well, I did not have a clean draw, but that happens in life. So I went with the time. It took me 1.68 seconds to draw and fire 1 round center mass on 1 target at 7 yards. Now, let's say that Top is like ninja cool and super fast, which I'm not. I'm actually slow. I'm old, bald, and fat. But let's say that I'm super cool. I'm going to have a ninja factor. We're going to Top's ninja factor that says I'm a half a second faster than anybody else on the planet Earth. Okay? So let's take this 1.68, add in plus 5. We get 2.18 seconds, which is what I call I'm dead time. If that person at the other end is shooting back at me, then using this formula in 2.18 seconds, I've been shot. Let that soak in for a second. Now, let's go to the times that I had when I was shooting. I've got 2 different examples here. One of them was done with the, like we talk about, I'm going to come out there. I've got 3 targets. I'm going to come out of the holster, bang, 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 to engage all 3 of them. The second column, the first one to the right, was when I went back and I shot the drill like I shoot multiple targets, which is 1 round, 1 round, 1 round, and then come back and clean my leftovers up. Let's take a look at those times. Let's see how I made out. Get zoomed back in here. There we go. All right, shooting pairs, those hammer pairs. My first shot on target. This was after I did my draw time. I loaded up again. We come out of the holster, I was even slower this trip. I was 1.83 to get round one into the bad guy. Alright, 1.68, factor in my ninja factor. 2.18 is my dead time. Alright, so bam, I got one round into target number one. Come down here, my second shot was 2.22 seconds, which, just like my little chart here, I'm dead. Okay, I'm dead time 2.18, round on target 2.22. Now, chances are, if I put a round in him at 1.83, he probably didn't make the I'm dead time. So we'll say that I got 2 rounds into the first guy. By the time I got my first round into my second guy, 2.66, and I was dead. That's it, plain and simple. The numbers, 3 seconds flat, the second round hit the second target. First round, third target was 3.44. Second round, the third target was 3.82. Really cool, right? No, because I died. I never got the first shot on the second target. So let's move over to the column on the right. First round out of the gate, 1.72. All right, did better there. Second target, round was on him in 2.15. I made it, I'm still alive. Third one, that's where I run into trouble. It took me 2.53 seconds to get to that third target at 7 yards. And we all know it's right here, okay? This is the number that's killing us. You can't get it done, okay? Because the other targets, we all get go at the same time. Sometimes they get go long before us. We have to react to what they're doing. You're not gonna get it done, okay? I hate to shoot everybody in the face, but the reality is reality. The way we're training is not gonna work. How do we fix it? You know, somebody told me one time, what's the best way to block a punch? Well, the best way to block a punch or not get hit by a punch is to not be there. I had a sensei, martial arts instructor up in Groton, Connecticut, told me many, many years ago, if you don't want to get hit, move. If we don't want to get shot, let's move. Another thing to think of, let's say they're not guns. These guys are armed with an edged weapon or an impact weapon. They got a knife, they got a billy club, they got a baseball bat, they've got whatever. There was a police officer named Tuller, I think was his name, back in 1983, a Salt Lake City police officer. He did a study on how close is too close. And what he was trying to figure out was just how close does a suspect have to be before he poses a legitimate threat to a police officer. And what he came up with is the average human being is going to cover 21 feet in 1.5 seconds. Now, how long does it take me to draw my weapon? I got a 168, I got a 183, I got a 172. So if that guy's at 21 yards and he charges me with a blade, the bottom line of the fact is I'm dead before I get out of the holster. Let that soak in for just a second. What are we going to do? We're going to run. Plain and simple, we're going to run. So Tuller taught us that 21-foot rule is what it's credited with, and that's what everybody wants to call it. And we practiced that in the academy. I've practiced it in the Marine Corps several times, going through some of those things that I've done there. And I know beyond a shadow of a doubt that I'm not going to beat that guy if he's at 21 feet and he starts after me and I'm in the holster and my gun is covered up with my shirt. It is not going to happen. I have one option, and that is to run. Now, let's talk about running. You'll see a lot of guys go to the range, and I think I'm done with this remote. I'm going to set it over here. If I can't find it here in just a second, you guys let me know that I put it up there. I used to do that teaching classes all the time. I had the remote for the overhead or the PowerPoint deal. I would set somebody in my class, and I would look at them and say, your sole job today, other than trying to learn, is to keep track of this remote for me, because I'd set it down and forget it. But I digress. Let's roll back to the matter at hand. We were talking about running, getting off the X, okay? Got a little something for y'all to do. All right, we've been to the range before, and we've watched some videos of these dual cool ninjas, and they'll come out of the holster, bang, bang, and they'll take a step, bang, bang, and they'll take a step, bang, bang. And it looks a lot like the diamond drill that I showed you guys a few videos back, where I got you to start moving. Anyhow, they think that that diamond drill, and I hope you don't think that that diamond drill is realistically going to save your life. All right, that is a drill to get your feet moving and get you shooting. What I want you guys to do, I don't know if you're watching this on a cell phone or a laptop, but set it out there in front of you somewhere. And I want you to take your index finger, either one, doesn't matter to me. You're going to pretend that that is a front sight. And I want you guys to take and put that front sight right on my chest. Pretend that you're shooting at me. Now, as I move around, I want you to follow me with that finger wherever I go. I want you to keep your sights on me and look and see just how successful I am at getting off the X. All right, here we go. You ready? Get your finger up there. You in the back. Yeah, I'm waiting on you. Okay, thanks for showing up. Game on. Here we go. Finger right here. Aim for my glasses. Ready? Keep it on me. Here we go. All right, drill's over. How hard was that? I know that every one of you kept your finger on my chest. Even you, the guy back there shaking your hand, thinking you was too cool to do it. I saw you do it. Thumbs up, tough guy. My point is, casually moving around. All right, I can put my finger up here and I can watch that camera, and I can keep my finger on this camera the whole way as I casually move around. When it comes time for you to move, when it comes time for you to get off the X, move. Get out of dodge. Cover some ground, cover it quickly, and cover it with a goal. Your goal when you get off the X is to fire at your enemy as you seek cover, okay? I want you moving to cover. Now, what is cover? Cover is something that hides you from observation. The bad guy can't see you, and it protects you from incoming fire, okay? An engine block in a police car is cover. An interior wall of your house, which is a 1/2-inch sheet of drywall, a 2x4, and then a 1/2-inch sheet of drywall, is not cover. All right, that's concealment. Concealment only hides me from being seen. Cover hides me from being seen and protects me from incoming fire. So my goal when I get off the X is to get my sorry butt to cover. Now, depending on where that is, it could be as simple, I've got out of my car, somebody just rushed me. I may just run backwards around the other side of the car. All right. While I'm running, I am getting my weapon out and I'm going to get it into action. That's getting off the X, and that's what we're doing. We're buying us time to get that draw, and we're going to make our opponent, if he's armed, we're going to make him hit a moving target. If he's coming at me with a club, impact weapon, or edged weapon, I'm going to make him chase me down. Another consideration. Do not run backwards. We got any baseball players in here? If you're a baseball player, raise your hand. Okay, like 4 of you. Anyway, what they teach in baseball when you're playing the outfield? Play deep, because you can run up faster than you can run back. Remember that? Okay, guy running at me will always run faster than me running backwards trying to get away from him. So what do? We move perpendicular to what he's doing. If he's over here and he's coming at me, I am not going to back up. I am going to move very quickly this direction, perpendicular to his line. I am going to make him adjust and come find me. You've got to make him change direction. I hope all that makes sense. First off, all this stuff, you're going to die, okay? Sorry, have your next of kin shoot me an email. I'll try to make it to the funeral. Maybe we'll say some good words, I don't know. But you're going to die, is my point. You have to move. You have to move quickly, move with a goal of getting to cover, and getting your weapon into action. Hope everybody understands this video. A little quick down and dirty. I was going to take the camera and set it off to the side here where it can really see the whole range. You wouldn't be able to hear me talk if I said anything, but you could see an example of me getting off the X. But number one, I think you guys probably have it. You probably got the idea. And number two, getting off the X here on my range, I'm probably going to move right out of the camera, probably move right out of the range, because I'm here to tell you, when the gunfight starts, when somebody charges me, old Top is getting out of Dodge. I'm going to cover some ground. That guy's going to have to work for it. Now I know, last thing here, I know that you guys probably go to public ranges where you're just absolutely not allowed to do any kind of movement. I mean, I get it, I understand. Hey, do this in your backyard. All right, do it in the backyard with, man, use an airsoft gun, use a pellet gun, use whatever you can safely use to develop the habit of shooting and moving, getting around there. You got to work on that. You know, and police officers are horrible about it. And I've seen this a lot in that Tueler drill. You know, timer goes off or the suspect charges. The cop does a great job of moving until he gets his gun out of the holster. He faces the target and then he steps into instant drying concrete and he can't move. All right. Bad news. Keep moving. I don't know who it was who ever planted the seed that a pistol is bang, you're dead. I don't know if it goes back to us playing cowboys and Indians when we were kids. Bang, I shot you, you're dead. Oh, okay, let me fall down and die. It doesn't work that way. I read somewhere that if you shoot somebody through the aorta, the largest artery in the body, right above the heart, it can still take up to 15 seconds for there to be a 20% loss in blood that will incapacitate the bad guy. Okay? So when you're doing these drills, be active, be moving, be shooting 15 seconds. All right? Condition yourself to get away from that one shot and he's down, because, hey, it's a pistol, girls. It usually doesn't work that way. I don't care if you're carrying the Super 9mm or the big fat slow 45. This one-stop shot thing is just not realistic with a pistol. You fire until the threat has stopped. If it takes 10 in the X-ring, it's 10 in the X-ring. If it takes 1 and he's down, it's 1 and he's down. But you got to condition yourself. You got to train to fire until the threat's down. Shoot until the threat stops. I can't say that enough. Move. If you're shooting, you need to be moving. Take those drills that I showed you and expand on them. Anyway, I think I've rambled on enough. I am going to shoot a little bit here and see if I can beat that 168. That was horrible. I didn't like the holster I was coming out of. Had a shirt on. And a little thing here for you before we wrap this up, the shirt. Summertime, it's getting tough to kind of hide things, as you can probably see. I mean, my gun of choice is a 1911. Unfortunately, circumstances has made my Glock 21 my primary carry weapon. Even when a fat guy like me, it's tough for me to hide that Glock 21. Sometimes people will just put a shirt on, a button-up shirt, and they won't button it, you know, because I guess that's GQ. I don't know. But a thing to consider with shirts like that, or a vest or a jacket, they're so light that when you move them out of the way to go for your gun, they just kind of fold up. They don't really go anywhere and get out of the way. So a lot of times, as you go to present your weapon, you've still got a handful of shirt. All right, what do we do to fix that? Well, if you're in a sport coat, you know, suit jacket, something like that, put something in that coat pocket there. It gives a little bit of weight. That way, when you make that move to get it out of the way, there's some weight there to develop inertia. This is how the Secret Service boys do it. They're straight up kung fu sexy. They put a magazine in there. One guy I knew put a roll of quarters in his pocket. Anyway, that gave it some weight, so when he shoved it back, it actually swung on back out of the way before it would come back forward. So he had time to get out. Your button-up shirts, I don't leave mine unbuttoned. I will keep mine buttoned up but untucked. I will kind of cheat in the back, and I will try to keep the tail of the shirt off of the bottom half of the buttocks, because as you go to pull, if that shirt tail has fallen over the bottom of the buttocks, then the shirt will stick. Okay, so that's something you have to work through, something you have to practice. Anyway, I've rambled on too much. what do you take away from this video? If you don't move, you will die. There's your takeaway. Takeaway number 2, draw as you're running. Number 3, run with a purpose. Get to cover. And number 4, shoot until the threat stops. Move until the threat stops, or you achieve that position of cover you're looking for. Hey, thanks for stopping by today. I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't like it, give it a thumbs up anyway, because my ego needs a little help today. If you're not a subscriber, do me a favor, click that subscribe button, and then click on that notification bell so you won't miss out on what we got going on next. Thanks again for stopping by. Shoot me a comment down there. Let me know what you think. Hey, give me a comment and tell me if you were able to follow me with your finger. All right, I ought to see I have like 115 subscribers, so I ought to see 115 comments that said, "Ha, Top, gotcha," or something. Let me know how that drill worked out for you. I thought it was pretty cool. It is a Top original as far as I know. I think it's a cool drill to try. Anyway, I'll shut up. You guys be safe. I want you to shoot safe, shoot straight, and train often. Let me get my remote and see if I can get this thing turned off.